Okay, we're on the draw. We have our Daredevil. This hand's great if we draw a fetch land. We can draw any land in the top 3 and have this hand be fine. I'm going to keep. Is Hearse just a more main deckable card? It's like a bit more complicated than that, but I would say Hearse is more main deckable, yeah. They should have given Spike Legislator or Hearse. Yeah, I didn't get any preview cards from the last set. I didn't get any for Baldur's Gate any, but I'm a big D&D fan. I feel like they could have given me a Baldur's Gate preview card. Not that I guess I'm very known for my D&D fandom. Is Shadow a legit competitive choice or worse than Murktide? Well, you play Murktide in that deck too. I don't know. I like the archetype. I haven't played too much with it. I have 5-0'd with it. Easy top deck, by the way. I don't know. You know, I think what we do on this channel is we try to find creative and interesting builds that are underexplored, underutilized, not very popular. It is so rare to like break the format, build a new tier 1 deck that stays forever. But it is way more realistic, way more possible to build decks that are good in certain metagames, competitive if you spend a lot of time mastering them. You know, but it's. Do I think that I've built a deck that's better than stock Blue-Red Murktide that's basically been a tier 1 deck since the printing of Modern Horizons 2? Probably not. But do I think that this version could be better in some metagames than Blue-Red Murktide? Yes. Yes, I do. I would love to untap with Wrenn and Six and like at least get this Foothills back so it can go Rocco Asmo into like Saga Cookbook. It's got 3 cards in their hand. Looks like this is maybe a Ragavan Dash Channeler. Dude, Red-Black Channeler really brings me back. Command, kill, Wrenn and Six, return Ragavan. So really hoping to draw a non-Urza Saga land or something else to do this turn. Okay, ding ding ding. Just gonna grab basic forest. I think it's better to Rocco than to Finale plus play Cookbook this turn, although it is probably actually kind of close. Dude, MTGO, can someone tell me why they have foils on here? So the foils exist on Magic Online because the foundation of Magic Online's economy is the fact that you can redeem the Magic Online cards for paper cards. And so if you can assemble a full set of foil cards, you can exchange that for a real-life foil set, and you can also do that for a regular set as well. So that's the reason for the foil cards being on here. Excuse me. So next turn we can go Finale for 0, Cookbook. Love for this to be Kroxa. Okay, perfect. Daredevil's so good against Kroxa. So opponent's last card is just a Ragavan, so next turn we get to go. Yeah, it doesn't change anything. Cookbook, get back Daredevil, Finale for 0. As part of your shad, you never got to try Shredder and Lura's Shadow Shells? Not really, because I just have infinite other shells for Shredder. Yeah, this is a new location. I'm streaming from the new house. Okay, I'm going to sideboard. I'm going to go get a drink real quick, too. I think we're just sideboarding the same way we do against Blue-Red Murktide. Excuse me. These 9 cards for these 9 cards. And I'll be right back. So I think we're going Simple Garden turn 1. Oh. I guess now we can go Forge-Tender, Triome, Basic Forest. Okay, Voidwalker good against my drawn Daredevil. Yeah, Rocco for 0 gets Asmo, which is a big part of why I'm super excited about this deck. Okay, it's kind of not great. They have a land? No third land from opponent. They can Voidwalker for my Wooded Foothills, which would be just fine. I think I'm going to Rocco here instead of Endurancing. I don't think like trying to block the Channeler matters much when my opponent has explosives on 1 in play. They did keep a card on top, which is probably going to be a land. Red, white, green. Thank you, Thrilling, for the 8 months, and thank you, Sandwich. Yeah, this deck took so long to finally come together. It was just like a lot of like, you know, theory crafting like other shells, really trying to find out like what needs to be in the deck, what can't be, what shouldn't be. Resisting the urge to play Yorion. Took a long time, but I think it came together really well. I guess... should I even bother countering this? I guess I should, because they have the explosives on 1 in play. What's the record on the day? I think we're not doing... we were doing better. We're like 6-4 on the day. We started off 6-1. My opponent says lull. I don't know what they're lulling. Was this deck a concept pre-Rocco? Not really. I think Rocco, like, it's a combination of Rocco and Luxior, where, like, not only does Rocco get Asmo, but, like, Devoted Druid decks all of a sudden want to be playing Urza Saga anyways. Now that you can tutor for gift plus Longbow. I think that's a really important piece of the puzzle too. I think I'm gonna Forge-Tender. Well, no, I'll just let this trade happen. Because maybe I'll just go Rocco X equals 1 and grab a Giver. I don't have another basic to get. That's probably okay. No, let's not deal ourselves the unnecessary damage, especially because they have the explosives on 1, so getting the Giver into the explosives makes no sense. We'll just let them crack the explosives or not. Then we've got Endurance on their turn. Was the Esper Mentor Shredder record? I can't remember the record. I mean, I also wanted to change the list because that was our first stream with Shredder, so it took a little bit to recognize how crazy that card is. Okay, so we got a second Rocco off the, or second Asmo off the Rocco. We are actually kind of cold to a Lightning Bolt though. Yeah, Shredder's a great card. I mean, I've been playing a ton of the card. I'm really a big fan of it. I don't think everybody's on as high on it as I am, but boy, do I like that card. Okay, I'm actually going to play this like a bit more conservatively. Eldarmy's call for Solitude to get the Voidwalker. Solitude pitch Giver. Play Cookbook, discard the Daredevil. My opponent's got 2 cards in hand. I've got 1, but that 1 card's a Rocco that can get me Asmo, and I can go Rocco, Asmo, Cookbook next turn. Yeah, I mean, Shredder's great. Shredder's just such a good card. I need to buy some. I was actually given a Shredder as a gift from my friend who I play D&D with and watches the stream, but doesn't really... He doesn't really play any Magic these days, but he Oh, dude, Inquisition's so bad for us here. Although I can maybe Cookbook back Rocco. He doesn't play much Magic these days, but he does so like buy singles and stuff. So that's the one shredder I own. I need to acquire 3 more shredders. Usually, if there's like cards from a new set that I like and I like, you know, want to acquire them for my collection, I'll buy them. Dude, they don't have double bolt, do they? I'll buy them like during like pre-release, but I just moved into a new house, so. Dude, I'm dead anyways, despite like taking like what I thought was such a safe line. Okay, go to game 3. I haven't bought any Magic cards in like a month. Okay, I'm gonna play for game 3 though. Oh yeah, we should have stacked the Evoke trigger differently. Yeah, for sure. Let's keep this hand. I think I'm gonna go Garden on turn 1. I think Garden turn 1, so I can guarantee Rocco turn 3. I think I can maybe call for Daredevil 2. They did another card type with Channel. No, they had Delirium. They had Delirium after the Heat. Oh, they did have to get Delirium. They started that turn with no cards in their yard. So Black Red today. Not today, I think. Got this exciting new Brew Bolt. We're playing. I guess we are actually playing against Black Red. Does that count? Does playing against it count? Okay, 2 baubles in turn 1. 3 baubles in turn 1. Yeah, there was a lot of people talking about how SNC was like underpowered set and how it was like not that exciting, and I mean, like any set following Neon Dynasty was gonna have a hard time because Neon Dynasty was so deep. But I feel like SNC has been a great set overall. Very impactful, lots of sweet cards, lots of sweet decks, lots of room for innovation. Nothing but good things to say about the streets of New Capenna. Was Black Red good in the meta? I have to imagine that it is, yeah. At least not bad. Yeah, a lot of people have been very critical of the limited streets, which I don't really have, a big frame of reference. I don't know, like, I've never, well, it's not true. There have been some times where I've been, like, primarily a limited player, but that was back when I didn't have, like, a huge frame of reference for, like, what a good limited format was and what a bad limited format was. Like, I drafted so much Theros and so much, whatever the set after Theros was, the first Board of the Gods. So much of those sets, not realizing that they were pretty rough. Yes and yes, Spartan. Yes and yes. So I take my Rocco. I'm taking 3 damage. Really want to top deck Endurance. If I have to Eldarmor's Call for it, I guess I will. Could also maybe be correct to just tap out for Sword. But against, I think against double Channeler, I need to tutor for Endurance, and I'm really weak to another discard spell. Really weak to another discard spell here. I will also say, like, I feel like limited formats have been really good for a long time lately, right? I don't think that that's a super hot take, that limited's been good for a long time. Especially when, like, Neon Dynasty was, like, one of the best limited sets of all time. Okay, I love my opponent didn't do anything here. So even if they can kill my Endurance, I get to turn off Delirium, presumably, and then eat one of the Channelers, just take one this next turn. Then if I draw a land, I can also just like play Equip. Rocco's not too bad either. I think opponent has Kolagon's Command. No mana spent on turn 3. That's ridiculous. Red is really bad. Green red is essentially unplayable. Yeah, I don't doubt that there are many problems with SNC Limited. Constructed wise, though, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I agree that they likely have multiple removal spells, but they need to both have multiple removal spells and be able to get Delirium back on for their channelers before damage is dealt. Otherwise, I can eat one with a Forge-Tender. No Unholy Heats, it seems. Letting me go to blocks. So they probably have Bolt. VIP or Mod from Red 7. Welcome to the team. If you want to choose your preference in the chat, you can. Nothing beats Amonkhet Limited. Amonkhet Limited was my first ever Pro Tour. I did, I think, 100 drafts of Amonkhet. Or no, sorry. I did it was Hour of Devastation. I did 100 drafts of Hour of Devastation in like that week and a half we had before the Pro Tour. I remember like I was like 60 or 70 drafts in and I was like, okay, I think I've learned everything I can learn here. I should probably stop playing, but I was also really happy with my constructed deck. And so I was like, I want to actually do 100. So I did 100. And then Christian Calcano kind of like broke the limited format with the Slitherblade deck. That Slitherblade deck was so cool. They kept a card on top. Red will take Mod. Awesome. Welcome to the team, Red. Congratulations on your 1 million channel points. Yeah, been a lot of slow opponents lately. So land, we can slam sword. I think there's a chance they like are sandbagging Kolaghan's Command. Not super likely. You have to attack with DRC. DRC makes you attack. Someone passed you, Liliana. They pack one, picked one, Mind Twist. That's crazy. Oh, man. Mind Twist versus Liliana's actually feels like somewhat close. Mind Twist is probably better. And also, like, it's hard to, like, pass up on, like, you know, the ability to play with Mind Twist and Limited. Okay, very good engineered explosives. In Amonkhet, whatever set Liliana's Death Magistrate is from. What do VIPs get in the channel? There's almost like no benefits besides the name next to the badge next to the name, but the one small benefit you do get from being VIP is you can talk when it's in like emote only mode. You can type. So I can equip to Asmo to play around Unholy Heat, or I can equip to Rocco to, you know, play around Lightning Bolt a bit better. I think that this is better. Rocco plays around push if they have it. Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like they're playing something similar to like the lists I've worked on, and I usually don't play push in these lists, but obviously they have changed some things, so maybe they do have it. Okay, Dash Ragavan. Sword of Fire and Ice for the grindy matchup. Sword of Fire and Ice is specifically for like the Ragavan matchups where you side out your Devoted Druids, your Gift, your Viridian Longbow, your Walking Ballista, one of the finales, and then you just transition into like Naya Food Blade and like you're just like this very grindy Naya deck against the Ragavan strategies. And so with this like somewhat transformative sideboard plan, I think that it makes a lot of sense to have the Sword of Fire and Ice for these kind of matchups. But no, it's not for the grindy matchups, quote unquote. It's Kolaghan's Command? Yep. This one has Ragavan, 2 mystery cards. We're going to go Stoneforge Mystic, Saga activation, I think. Spike, what content do I occasionally consume? I watch a lot of other Magic content, and I also watch a lot of like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, challenge run, specifically like no-hit stuff is what I like. I also like to listen to Esther talk about her day. That is the best type of content to consume. All the drama that goes on in corporate life and the nitty-gritty details about like spreadsheets and emails and stuff that I really don't know what's going on. Am I a Pokemon guy? I'm like super casual. It's honestly like really hard to be a casual Pokemon fan as a Magic player because all of your Magic player friends who play Pokemon are so into it and they're like, this is all the types. These are all the type advantages and disadvantages, and this is my Eevee. I'm Eevee training my Eevee to be. They're just so hardcore about all of it. I don't know, and I just want to play the game and just like casually do a playthrough of the game, collect some cards and stuff. It's really hard to be a Pokemon fan as a Magic player because all of your Magic playing friends are just so hardcore. They're all just so hardcore trying to maximize everything. I'm just trying to enjoy it. Heard your name talking shit. I would never talk shit, Esther. I would never talk shit. I would just say the honest truth. Yeah, I had a friend who worked in IT, and like during his IT free time, like while installers and stuff were going, he would just grind RuneScape accounts, and he would eventually sell them. Let's put back Finale. But he would just like grind a fresh account until he had enough money to sell it for like a couple $100 and then start over. And that was like the mindless activity he liked to do during his downtime as an IT guy. Okay, looks like we're going to be in on the Saga this game probably, although could maybe be better to do turn 3. Okay, well now we'll just definitely Stoneforge Mystic for Shadow Spear. Lava spikes me down to 11, so we're gonna go fetch basic Forest down to 10, try to Shadow Spear equip. I wonder if they're going to be surprised when they see me get an Underworld Cookbook off the Saga. Yeah, just forcing them to bolt the Stoneforge Mystic is such a big deal. I will say that this is definitely a matchup that is really, really improved by playing the Asmo package over like a traditional Devoted Druid shell. Where like the Saga cookbook plan is so good against them. There's a cookbook on top. At least I have a Rift Bolt suspended. So Rift Bolt suspended, 1 card in hand. If I don't sack a food token, I could potentially die. But I don't see like much way for me to really put myself in a good position without making a token here. So I think I just need to make a token and like hope my opponent's hand isn't burn spell, top deck burn spell. Oh my gosh, they bolted the token. I should have just made a food in response. Sorry. I thought for sure they were going after my face. Sorry, I got a little stunned there. Damn it. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. I feel like this happens a lot, where like my opponent will take a line that I like never considered was a line that they could take, like Rift Bolting the construct there, because it's just like It's obviously bad into the onboard cookbook, and I won't think that they're ever gonna do it, and then they do it, and then I just like don't even think about it. But they don't have a skull crack, so we should be pretty good here. Okay, Eidolon is interesting. We just take 7. They have 1 card in their hand. I can win. Okay, that makes it easier, I think. Yeah. So we'll go Vizier of Remedies, take 2. Infinite mana. Make a token, and so we can go gain 3 life off of a food. Gain 3 life off of food, fetch shock, Rocco. I'm still at 5 after getting the life off the Rocco. Rocco finds me Stoneforge Mystic, but then I go to 1. Yeah, Rocco for Stoneforge or Book for Stoneforge is kind of like the same amount here. Can attack with Druid for 1 life. Yeah. Rocco could find me anything. Well, the only thing that wins me the game is Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, I could go Rocco for Stoneforge Mystic for Kaldra, and then just equip Shadow Spear to Construct. So yeah, let's go discard Wrenn and Six. Just trying to play around. I'm just trying to find a way to play around a burn spell. Is all that I really care about here. Like, this doesn't actually like win the game on the spot, but it effectively does. And through a burn spell too. Longbow doesn't win here. The problem with Longbow is if they have a burn spell, I die. Yeah, we could obviously deal infinite damage with Longbow, but we would go to 1 to do so. But getting to attack with a Tin, Trample, Lifelink, Haste is probably better than winning. Cookbook Ballista. Yeah, that line maybe beats a burn spell too. No, because we had to tap this to gain 3 life. No, we go to 2 if we take that line. Okay, and we have, it's probably a pretty sad spot for the Forge-Tender deck, right? But, or sorry, for the burn deck, but I have 4 Forge-Tenders in the sideboard. These are here for the Ragavan and the Fury matchups. They are certainly incidentally good here. This may actually be another matchup where I side out the combo, though. Maybe I'll play 1 Devoted Druid, 1 Vizier, 1 Gift. Just to be able to tutor for it. That doesn't seem that good. Let's put 1 Endurance. You could have used second Cookbook in hand to return Ballista for kill. Well, me casting the Cookbook deals me a damage, right? So I go... Yeah, I go to 3 with that line. Because if I go Rocco, I'm at me going discard, Wrenn and Six, sack Cookbook puts me to 5. Fetch shock Rocco Ballista, Cookbook in play, I go down to 3, I die. I die to a burn spell with that line. I found the best line. I think. Eidolon, yes, the Eidolon, the card where that this is the only reason we didn't go for the just any of the mini infinite kills. Oh, I didn't mean to leave this in. Sorry, I need to cut that for second Wrenn and Six. Although we'll keep this. Boseiju for Eidolon, yeah, maybe an extra Boseiju would be fine. You could have done the Ballista thing, second main phase after gaining a lot with the lifelink. Well, I can't gain a lot with the lifelink unless I get Kaldra, and I don't have the white mana to get Ballista or any of the other infinite life cards if I don't get Kaldra, right? I can gain exactly 1 life with Shadow Spear on the Devoted Druid and attack. But 1 is not that much. Alright, gonna get the Shadow Spear. Maybe, no, Shadow Spear's gotta be better than sort of Fire Ice with the Cauldron in hand. 2 mana, no land played yet, second Eidolon. What, Ranger Captain deck? I've considered Ranger Captain. You know, this is a deck full of tutors already. Double white's not super easy, but, you know, I don't know where the Ranger Captain fits. It doesn't help you combo off, because, like, obviously you could get off Rocco and get Ballista, but you can already just get Stoneforge Mystic for Longbow, so I don't think it's that necessary for that dynamic either. I usually start at 1.0 Magus. Or at least like the first like stream is 1.0, and then there's maybe like 0.1s off stream and stuff. Searing Blaze, my Stoneforge Mystic. This is fine. I can just cast the Shadow Spear, take 4. Although I can also just. They must have Path to Exile, right? Yeah, they must have Path to Exile. So I think I'm still supposed to take 4, but I'm probably supposed to equip to the Forge-Tender here. Obviously, if they just don't have Path, it doesn't matter. But they're dead if they Path the Germ Token. They're dead if they don't Path the Germ Token, so it actually doesn't matter either way. How does Luxior combo? Luxior on a Devoted Druid is infinite mana. Put a last seed 9 days ago on Mono Green Tron. Hopefully that's what they're playing here, because I have a turn 3 infinite mana and I'm 1 land away from winning. Yeah, hopefully they just haven't changed their Tron ways. Did any version include Karn? Not. I think Karn in this specific build, in the Rocco build, is really bad. I really caution you against playing Karn the Great Creator in like these traditional Devoted Druid decks. I think you can play it in the Planesbound Accomplice version, but like Karn is like so fragile, so disruptible, so expensive on your curve. Makes you like not able to play a sideboard. I really discourage you from playing it here. Okay, that's win next turn. Sleeping Point has no interaction. Yeah, I needed the white mana so I can make infinite green, then white Stoneforge Longbow kill. Kind of a classic matchup. I have a friend who used to play like all the Birthing Pod. They're all the Birthing Pod decks, and before Devoted Druid, Devoted Druid combo. This was a really hard matchup for Devoted Druid. Having a Sense combo made it a lot better. Still not necessarily easy or anything though. Okay, just got. Okay, they packed it in without making me click 36 more times. Very nice of them. Bring in the extra Boseijus, the Needle, probably just these. And then maybe we go cut 1 cookbook to Asmo. We could have used Stoneforge Mystic to get Luxor for Infinite Finale. No, Stoneforge Mystic for Luxior for equip, that's 6 mana. That requires 6 mana. We only had 5 mana that turn. So playing the Yavimaya may help my opponent cast a Sylvan Scrying, so I'll play the Sacred Foundry on turn 1. This is another turn 3 kill. They're going to need a sideboard card or a turn 3 Karn the Great Creator or a Karn Liberated to get me. And here's hoping they don't get me. Am I missing something? Why was Druid not getting counters? Devoted Druid plus Vizier of Remedies, which was the other card we tutored for, is an infinite mana combo where Vizier stops Devoted Druid from getting the -1 counters. All right, it's a game. It's a game 3. Fast match so far. Yeah, Vizier of Remedies says creatures you control can't get -1/-1 counters, so you still get to untap the Devoted Druid, you just can't put a counter on it. And then here, we don't have a turn 3 kill. We do have Boseiju, though. This is technically a turn 4, but the problem is I would prefer to channel the Boseiju. Luxior also makes infinite mana with Devoted Druid. I don't know. I feel like turn 4 is kind of slow. If I had like another green... Check your text so you can buy the bed frame. I can't imagine I'm going to say no to anything here. Yeah, that sounds good, sweetie. Okay, going to 5. Okay, we're on a mull to 5. I don't like this hand. This hand's really good if it draws a Boseiju. It's hard to win on a. It's hard to combo win on a mull to 4. You can find my wallet, sweetie. I think it's in the kitchen. And it's not in here. Yeah, kind of classic. If we just had our game 2 draw, game 3 prior winning. Oh, Blast Zone. Maybe we got some time, huh? Could Rocco for Asmo? Seems fine since next turn I'm probably just putting a Devoted Druid into play anyways, so just, you know, putting 6 points of power in play, maybe having a beatdown game plan against a slower Tron draw is fine. This is better if they're on like Karn too. Yeah, you could maybe play a Magus for this matchup. I was kind of thinking this matchup's like neither that popular nor that bad since you have the turn 3 kill. I think I'm just trying to dodge Ugin. If you could dodge an Ugin, you can win a Tron match, they say. If only we could Eldarmer's Call for Boseiju. Fast match, sad though. It's just so hard to wait. Turn 3 kill on the mull to 4 too. First hand would have got there. Yeah, but it's just like, I think that you have so many 5 and 6 card hands that turn 3 combo kill against Tron. And obviously, like, if we know our opponent isn't gonna have Tron until turn 4, then yeah, it's a much easier keep. But we have no way of knowing that when we make our mulligan decision. No, I don't have Magus on the sideboard. You could play a Magus. You could play a Magus. Like, my thinking though is that Asmo really helps the Titan matchup, so like I just don't feel like you need the Magus that much. Let's get a Triome. Yeah, it just feels bad. But you can take the L. If I mentioned post-loadroom lunge with Cookbook as an option for hasted Druid kills. I know like a lot of Devoted Druid decks have played post-mortem lunge in the past, but no, that's because like they've had to be like all in on the Devoted Druid combo in the past. Like what's kind of nice about this version is that you don't have to be all in on it. So I think I'm going to play Saga and one of my 2-drops here. I think I'll just try to use the Stoneforge Mystic as the bait spell. Yeah, this is a turn 3 kill, but we're up against like what I thought was going to be Murktide, but it's actually Living End. But I'll just discard Devoted Druid to hand size, so that if they Living End, we're going to be pretty happy. This is a very abnormal Living End draw. Why? We can play in second response to Living End? Not if they Living End this turn. No, I mean, yeah, I feel like there's like a decent chance they're just gonna, like, especially if they have Street Wraith, they're just gonna put Sky Turtle Street Wraith into play, or Grief too. Has Kaldra replaced Spanish Skull as the default beater? Yes, it is. They take the Kaldra. I only have one Vizier in the deck. So if they Living In, take this, I have to go Stoneforge Mystic for gifts. I know the Devoted Druid doesn't need to be unsummoning sick to kill response, but I played Ballista, or so I played Stoneforge Mystic this turn, under the impression that my opponent was not on Living In, but on Murktide. And so when I had to go to discard there, I thought it was better to discard the Devoted Druid, because if they untapped and Living Ended, I was in really bad shape. But me discarding the Devoted Druid means that if they had a Cascade spell here, like they're in pretty bad shape themselves. Was it better to discard the Spear? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that discarding the Druid stopped them from being able to cast a Living In this turn, which is what I mostly cared about. I could be wrong, but this was my thought process. They're forcing the gift, which means that now if they Living In, they can Grief my Vizier. So maybe next turn I could try to go Ballista on 1 plus Vizier, assuming they don't Cascade. They do Cascade though. So now in order to combo, I'm going to need a Finale of Devastation, because that can get the Vizier back from the graveyard. But it's also true, I could maybe just beat a Grief and a Turtle. Yeah, I was playing 2 Vizier yesterday. I ended up cutting the second Vizier for the Ballista. It's the first time today we've wanted the second Vizier. So I can get a Cookbook off the Saga and Cookbook off my Asmo that I get off Rocco. Cast both, discard, I guess, Ballista and Boseiju. Oh, we can Boseiju Sky Turtle. That's a great point. This is Ward 2, but we can go Forest, Boseiju for 1 mana, untap, pay the 2. Is 1 Vizier correct with all the ending and march of the format? Well, you also have your gift as another way to combo with Devoted Druid. But it's also like the idea behind this deck is like you have your Devoted Druid combo. These help you a lot in the more linear matchups. And then against the decks with all this removal, you still have your combo, but the main way you win those matchups is not with the combo, but with like the grindy engine. And like you're even sliding out your combo in those kinds of matchups. So if they attack with Grief, are we double blocking? Double blocking is like a degree worse against Living End. Yeah, I think we just take it. I don't think that they have a Cascader. If they do have a Cascader, we're probably dead either way. Oh, I should have played my second cookbook first. So if they cascade in response, I can go discard, discard. Asmo deals 6 damage to itself, gain 6. I guess they could just respond to the equip too, but they maybe don't see the line if I play the cookbook first. Winning game 1 against Living End is a huge deal because not only do we have the extra endurances and the Magistrate to tutor for, but we also still have our turn 3 combo. Last time we played this matchup, I'm pretty sure we just brought in the endurances, the Magistrate, and cut the Givers. I'm not 100% sure cutting the Givers is correct, but I think that it is. No, if they Living in the end of turn, they just attack me for 6 in the air with the turtle, right? Oh, I forgot the lantern. Dang it. Sorry. Obviously, you want the lantern too. I'm gonna keep this though. I brought in the lantern last time. I don't remember what did I cut for the lantern. Maybe the Shadow Spear. Despite forgetting, we get a Vizier and Druid other on the same Living End cycle. I'm just like if they end of turn, like the Druid has summoning sickness, so we just die. Yeah, Stream Decker's down a lot. I keep like saying I'm gonna switch to Cardboard Live and never switching. It's maybe about time. It does take the endurance. Turn 1 Triome, I think, is correct. I'm gonna 2 rounds because you flash a deck on the screen for snippers in the chat. I mean, you can rewind. That's usually like a way better way to do it, especially because like at the beginning of the stream, I usually at the beginning of the stream do a deck tag talking about the list, and I did do that today, so that's usually just like I would recommend going to the beginning of the stream to go back and take your screenshot. Them not having any 1-mana cyclers is a really, really big game. Force pitching Shardless Agent. Wow. The Twitch support rewind midstream. They do it. They do now. They haven't always. I don't think the feature is like really intuitive or works super well, but it is there. Would Rocco be broken if it was a cast trigger? I don't know that I would call it broken, but it would be better. Yeah, I think the rewind feature is like been like much needed on Twitch for a long time. I'm glad that it's here. How about a mobile? I have no idea. No idea. Attack for 6 before we do anything else. Otawara, my Asmo. Deal. So we're going to Finale for Magistrate. How good is the deck being down? Actually pretty good. Like just Rocco for Asmo, put 6 power in play. You're at Urza Saga deck too. I'd say it's pretty good. But no cards in hand. Next turn we can go Cookbook, Asmo, Cookbook. That would be a pretty good draw. It's fine though. Seems like a bad Living End keep. Yeah, maybe. They did have Grief, but I think games 1 and 2 they kept a hand with like out much many if any cyclers, which is a big problem. I am really happy that this has been like a much faster league than our first 2 leagues of the day. Get another 4-1 prediction. We 4-1'd our first league, then we went 2-3. Okay, so we're on the play for last match, and we have potentially. Oh, this is a turn 3 win. Oh no, sorry, it's not a turn 3 win unless we draw a red or white source. Still a good hand overall. But I need to be able to go Rocco turn 3 into Finale. Valak at turn 1. So if this is Titan, I'm probably feeling pretty good. Can somebody time out Magus? Magus should know better. Okay, white or red mana off the top is lethal. We also have lethal for sure turn 4 by getting the gift here. Yeah, no, oh yeah, sorry, I should have played Saga turn 1. Yeah, I should have played Saga turn 1. Although, playing Saga turn 2 is way better against removal. Playing Saga turn 2 is way better against removal because they just kill this, then we get to start making tokens. My opponent played Valkyr turn 1, Wooded Foothills turn 2. This could be Titan Shift, actually. Could be Titan Shift. I don't... How are they taking this long? Opponent. I would love to see my opponent's hand. I would love to see my opponent's hand that's like an Explorer and a Lightning Bolt and 3 lands, 5 lands. It's like, oh, what do I do? It's like Farseek, Explorer, Sakura Tri-Builder, Lightning Bolt. What's the line? Wrenn and Six. Okay. My opponent is dead to Finale, Luxor, red or white land. Huge amount of draws here. That is not included on the huge amount of draws. Oh, no, it is. It is. Sorry, it is. Because I could just now go... For this one, I didn't see that. I could just tap the other Saga for mana. But I get to go Finale for... Vizier, infinite mana, Stoneforge Mystic for... Longbow. Win with Longbow. It has been so long since I've played a Devoted Druid deck that I thought was good. I can't remember the last time I've played a Devoted Druid deck and been like, this is it. This is a good Devoted Druid deck. I just can't remember the last time. It has been so long since I've been into a Devoted Druid deck. Wait, I do. My opponent must be playing Titan Shift though. If they're playing Wrenn and Six, not regular Titan. I'm gonna bring in the Forge-Tenders. I do think Saga is super necessary for the deck. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I'll bring in the Forge-Tenders, and I think I'm gonna go down 2 Asmo, 1 Cookbook. Just play just one of each of these. Probably cut the Kaldra too. Just like be all in on the combo here. What makes the difference compared to previous year decks for density combo with pieces Rocco? It's Rocco is the big thing, but it's like what's great about this deck is because you're playing the Asmo Cookbook package, all of a sudden your Finales and your Roccos have no floor, or their floor is really high. Where like previously, like you would have a Devoted Druid get bolted, and then your Finale like doesn't do anything for a turn, but now you could just Finale for 2 mana and put an Asmo into play, which is so strong. The fact that like these cards are like, the fact that your tutors are good for when they have an X equals 0. I feel like that's just absurdly strong. This hand's so close. It's so hard to mulligan a hand with Forge-Tender, Devoted Druid. We're on the draw. I think on the draw in a matchup that's all about the combo, I kind of like this hand. We'll see. So you're saying the recipe for a good Druid deck is having a plan B. I'm not exactly saying that, because like I would say the recipe for a good Devoted Druid deck is a good plan B, where they're just like I don't think that there was another good plan B beyond this. And the fact that this deck's plan B synergizes so well with the cards that you already want to be playing in the archetype. That's really the key piece of the puzzle, is that the Asmo package synergizes well with Saga and Asmo and Rocco and Finale, which are kind of cards you already want to be playing. Maybe not Rocco so much, but Rocco is like really good in the archetype. My opponent's playing green-red Valakut. Definitely a weird matchup. Let me play a Giver here and get Triome. Since there's nothing I could draw. I could draw infinite mana next turn, but I can't draw infinite mana and a payoff, unfortunately. No, Malir doesn't work the same way as Vizier. It's a bit... I can't remember the exact rulings, but Vizier, like... You can't put the counter on the Devoted Druid. Malira stops you from trying to put the counter on in the first place. That's why I paid on Croakservice Cruise as a graveyard payoff. Play 4 Cruises, 0 Croaksa, and a Grixis Young Pyromancer deck. Malira makes you unable to pay the cost for Druid. Yeah, I can't remember what the text is exactly. Poor Malira used to be format staple. Faded into obscurity. Okay, that is obviously a good draw. We have now tons and tons of draws that result in a win next turn, and we have lots of protection for our combo. Is there any world in which Vio puts Asmo into play his thing? I have tried and failed many times to build a good deck that plays both Aether Vial and Asmo. There are like a decent number of overlapping pieces, but like one big problem is like a huge part of Asmo is playing Ovalchase Daredevil and Cookbook. So it's like it's kind of tough when you're wanting to play Urza Saga targets 4 Cookbook 4 Daredevil in an Aether Vial deck. Like at that point you can't have any other non-creature spells. And then it's like you're also theoretically wanting to play like Goblin Engineer and Academy Manufactor and maybe Fiddlebender, maybe Ingenious Smith, but like all cards that like want you to have like a lot of artifacts in the deck, so it's tough. It's really tough. I've spent many hours trying to find a good Aether Vial Asmo deck, and I've failed. Like I don't know, like maybe in this deck, like an Aether Vial is an Urza Saga target, you vial your Asmo in. I don't know, kind of deep. And that's the thing too. But if you have Asmo stuck in hand, if you have Asmo stuck in your hand, and you have an Urza Saga chapter, you could just grab. So I don't know. I'm blanking so hard. You could just grab what's the card called? Cookbook, and then that gets your Asmo unstuck anyways. Okay, so we missed on that draw step, but any Rocco, any Finale, any Stoneforge Mystic, Elodarmer's Call, Walking Ballista, just the Longbow itself, all translating to a win next turn. Well, we have a Forge-Tender for Anger of the Gods. Maybe we should cut the Daredevil too. Yeah, Kozilek's return would be pretty good on this board, huh? Yeah, I've had so few Naya brews over the years. Like, I had like one Naya Stoneblade deck I liked very briefly. But yeah, it is so rare for me to like register a Naya deck that I like. So if they had Valakut, they should have played it before this Arid Mesa. We consider cutting one Giver for one Fortuner, seems like get a lot of matchups. I mean, it's still just a sideboard card. It's embarrassing to main deck Forge-Tender and draw it in a non-red matchup, especially when you are cutting like your 4th Giver for it, I think. Just sideboard them. They're a really good sideboard card, though. Alright, that'll do it. That'll do it. I'm not sure how my opponent beats us through the Giver Forge-Tender. I love when Stoneforge Mystic is a combo piece, too. Naya Titan Shift runs mainboard March, though. I mean, I don't know what Naya Titan Shift is. I don't think that's what we're up against. What if one Asmo was just to persist to grab Ballista? or put Daredevil in the bin? Just to persist to grab Ballista, put Daredevil in the bin. I guess I don't understand the question. Are you talking about Unmarked Grave? I've tried that in the past. It hasn't worked very well, at least. Like, the big issue with playing, like, Reanimator Asmo is that Reanimator is a deck that wants you to mulligan really aggressively. Asmo is the archetype that mulligans really poorly. And so blending the two decks together is why I haven't liked it very much. Don't know why my opponent's tanking so long. That's true. If they can kill the longbow, yeah, if they can kill the longbow, we're actually in bad shape. So they're bolting the giver. So I feel like I'm supposed to Forge-Tender the bolt just in case they have white removal spell. That's true though. Yeah, if they do have if they had artifact or enchantment removal here, we could actually lose. But they don't, and they're tapped out, so they need Solitude white card. No, that doesn't even do it. They need Force of Vigor. Force of Vigor does it. But they don't have it. We 4-1 that league. 4-1 first league, 2-3 second, 4-1. But I think most importantly, more than record or anything, this deck has actually felt like very strong and very reasonable. It feels like we're always brawling, have a lot of game in all the matchups, and there's also like always room for an improvement, and like tiny little tweaks here with so many tutors too. Like, I feel kind of crazy for saying this, but I kind of just want to play Underworld Cookbook as the 61st card, which is like probably a sign that it's time to call it a stream and take a nap and sleep on it. Would Ballista have been safer than Stoneforge there? I couldn't get Ballista. I had to get Vizier. I could have gone Stoneforge for the equipment and then Finale. But the problem with that is I'm still losing to Artifact and Enchantment Destruction. Okay, Daredevil. No, the Daredevil's important. You can Eldar Army's call for it. I would not cut the Daredevil.